Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. My name is Jendrek,
My name is Masha.
and this is the way we always greet you at the beginning. Fine. Masha, what's
Stability.
new? Tell me.
Or is it
Stability.
stagnation?
I say stability
Okay.
because I told you it's about the way we feel. I feel like it's stable.
Okay.
We are having a great run of this, let's say, third season. I know it's funny though, because we managed to squeeze in 3 seasons in 2022. I guess we started, I think, as far as I remember, we started in December 21.
Mhm.
But still, it's amazing. 3 seasons, and there's no logic to it. Like, why is it the third season? Is it any different from the first one? Well, it's not.
Yeah, you kind of just decided that okay, now it's
Well, no,
season
it was. I think it was the specific, let's say, calendar and
Mhm.
certain,
Mhm.
global events. Let's call them like that. No.
Yeah, but we could have just continued.
No, it was hard. Everybody knows it was hard. I mean, emotionally and it's not. I don't know. Actually, I want to say that out loud here on air that I really admire you. And the way that, I mean, your work ethic and the fact, because wait a second, Masha, you're still working. I mean, teaching.
Well, I need to eat,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure,
As-
but I think it's
What did
what's
you
happening.
like? I will just lie down and die, or what?
No,
I tried that.
but
I tried that in March. It didn't work, so I had to go back to
don't worry.
work.
All right, great. No, I mean, it takes enormous effort. I don't know if you follow my Instagram or not.
I
And
try not to, especially
I'm
with the
trying not to
recent.
find. Oh, you're right. Especially knowing what I'm doing there, guys. I'm going crazy sometimes in my stories, but I do have a group of followers that like it. So if anyone is looking for me on Instagram, it's mentals.fr. Don't ask me why FR. I mean, I live in France, yeah, but the Insta is run in English, so it's not really like French. I don't know, honestly, but I'm not changing this nick. Let it, let it be the way it is. But one of my friends who I met in Barcelona this year published a picture from the car garage, and she had classes, English classes in a garage underground. And well, that was a moving. Yeah, I mean, it moved me a lot. I mean, I later republished that on my Twitter. It also got some retweets. It's amazing. This what's I don't know. I struggle to find the right words even to describe it. But the will of the people to continue life more or less in a normal way. Even though it's limpy. There's no electricity. The internet is failing. And so on. And the fact that we are still recording this podcast is nothing short of a miracle. It a few weeks ago, I think we talked about it. That wow, it's a miracle that I'm sitting somewhere in the middle of nowhere in France, and you are in the middle of nowhere in Ukraine, and we are still able to connect. Yes, fine. But we are referring that to, let's say, even normal situation. That is, electricity is there, everything is there, connectivity, and this is still a miracle already. But if you add war to it and some, blackouts, shortages, and you still connect and talk, yeah, it's amazing. So we don't go into private details. I wish I could ask you, like, seriously, like, how are you managing? How are you doing? But I don't know. It's not, maybe, it's not the way I function. I prefer to read
It's
between the
out of
lines.
character of this podcast.
Yeah, it's out of character of this podcast, and my character also. So all right, you have to excuse me if I seem...
Dear listeners, he's not a robot. He does ask me sometimes how I am.
Yeah, but we do it off the record, and today we have to record. We have to record it as soon as possible because our time is limited. Fine. So this is a little bit of let's say the
Small talk.
yes, Paul talking the backstory. It's like how we're cooking this podcast. Someone I had a student here in my office. Like physically. Wow, it's
Cool.
and she asked me, so this is where you record the podcast, and it's like she saw the microphone and everything. It's like, this is where this famous podcast is being made,
Like a tour, to
yeah, exactly. I could actually have some
museum.
visitors here. And it's like, hey, you know that, in 2022, he was sitting here and recording.
This former toilet here.
Right. Well, I wish one day we can record an episode honestly live, like together in the same place. Who knows? Maybe in Kiev, or anywhere on the planet. But that would be nice, to have a conversation like I don't even know how to call it. It's difficult. Face to face. Well, what are we now?
Yeah,
Kind
we're
of face to
kind of
face.
face to face.
Yes, but you know what I mean. Okay, great. Is there any linguistic problem that you are struggling with? Yeah, I've got a question I want to ask you. It's deeply personal, and unlike anything else, I asked, but this is still a small talk. So I want to ask you: are you a better teacher today than you were 5 years ago?
Oh, definitely no. 5 years ago, I was.
You're regressing.
No. It's sometimes I look at the teachers who do it in this conventional way, PPP, presentation, practice, production, stuff like that, and their lessons are, the state of art in terms of
this
conventional
format.
methodology.
Yeah, they perfect their workshop, let's say.
Yeah, and my lessons used to be like that. It was a performance. It was oh my God, it was a state of art, I'm telling you. And I think at some point, it was for a very short time, but I was really, I believed in what I was doing. I believed I was making a difference. I was helping people.
I don't like where it's going.
And
Okay.
no. And I envy these people now. They are, they think that this methodology is solid. They believe in what they're doing. And it gives some kind of confidence. But what we are doing, like, we have no idea, honestly, if it's helping or not. And
I mean, you talk about your impressions, but you can find, I'll tell you, volumes written about it, and it seems like what we are doing is totally fine methodologically.
no,
and,
I'm talking about, living a life. Okay, it's a professional life when you don't have doubts. I mean, this is a bliss. It's a bliss. And now I'm constantly doubting. And smart people say that it's great. It's a hell. It's hell.
It's not. I know what you mean. That's why my call it getaway or some kind of shield protection is that I'm clowning. I can turn a lesson into, of course, I'm like 90% of the time I'm serious, but at the same time, this is a talk show, so I kind of I don't claim any sort of responsibility for students' progress. I'm there. Use me. I mean, go and produce the language. That's the floor is yours. And I think it's totally helpful. It helps people, makes them better, and faster than the, let's say, PPP traditional methods and all that. Except language learning is generally a painful process. So even though it's faster and you find confirmation of that in many, let's say, sources, but it's I agree that it's living with doubts.
And this, you know, it
But
this
you didn't.
traditional,
But
conventional methodology, it creates some sort of stability, you know, and
yeah,
students
you
have the
live in a bubble.
stability.
You
Yeah,
live in
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
bubble that everything's fine. This is, you know, you should proceed from chapter 1 to chapter 2
Yes,
and
and
then
at
to
the
the
end of
third
this
one.
course, you know, you get a certificate that now you have, let's say,
Yes.
A2, and that, and you know that, okay, one more year and I will be here, another year and
Yes.
I will be there.
Yes.
And only then you discover that this certificate, well, I mean, well, if you want to get into a university abroad, you will need to pass a formal, you know, exam, and it means
Mhm.
something. It means a
Mhm.
lot. It means a lot to a lot of people.
Mhm.
But you know, there's this illusion that when somebody issues a certificate, you know, that's bearing my name and says advanced, that's it,
Mhm.
I'm there. But the more you learn, the more, unfortunately, you understand that there's so much more to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
You know.
But I don't know. So I don't know. So I will repeat my question. Are you a better teacher today? The one that is, let's say, more aware of, you know.
I'm not going to judge if I'm a good teacher. You know what I think about it. But I definitely I felt nice.
Secure. Yeah. Secure. All
Felt
right.
really
Right.
nice.
Sorry. Now then you somehow
Do you
read
know
the
how I
implication.
started as a junior teacher, and I did my actually, I did CELTA before I even went to go before I even, you know, went into teaching. It was excruciating experience for me. Then I started teaching. I was a junior teacher. Then I was a teacher. Then I was a senior teacher. Then I did my Delta, you know, and I thought, okay, I'm finally there. And then I met you, and everything went to the dogs.
I told you I was afraid of where it's going, you know. Sorry for that. But I think honestly, I'm my story
Okay,
is
it's not
different.
only I started suspecting something, and then you became
My story is different because I never run these
yeah.
let's
So
say
for you, it's easier.
yeah, I mean what we are doing right now, that is, you know, running conversations that are, you know, based on certain questions, you know, specific questions and so on. There's a lot to talk about with people, but you guys who know us, you know, and who listen to this podcast, you know, more or less what the classes are about. Then I think we could write quite a thick book about, you know, the whole methodology there and what's involved and why we're doing this. But the point is that it's contrary to what is traditionally expected even from students, right? I mean, you know, this kind of material and this kind of orientation that, like you say, you know, I know where I'm, you know, where I'm going to be next year if I keep up this kind of work, you know. So yeah, it's like that. I have no
And
idea
you
if I'm a
know,
good
we
teacher.
can't say that it's not working, because, you know, both you and me, this is how we learned the language.
Yes. Yeah, of course. So this is additionally, you know, I wonder, you know, if
This
this is mostly
always
how we learn.
creates,
I
you
don't know,
know,
Masha.
these
I'm not
doubts.
sure, you know.
These
I'm
doubts.
not sure if this is how we learned. I'm not sure if this is how we learned, you know, because
What do you mean you're not sure this is how we learned?
no, I mean, of course, this is what our courses looked like.
Yes.
But is it how we learned? I'm not so sure, you know, because at one point, you know, you discovered your own way of learning. You know, it's not like you stuck to this course book and it taught you. No, because you found books, you found other stuff, you started.
Yeah, okay,
you know,
yeah, I agree, because
you know,
I still use with some students, I still use course books because this is what they're comfortable with. And but the way you know, my lesson, let's say, even if we use course book now, and my lesson, let's say 10 years ago with the same course book, let's assume it's the same, they are totally different now. So it's not the course book itself, you know, that everybody, you know, is up in arms against. It's not, it's just a source, you know. It's how it's what you do with it.
It's just it's just materials, you know. All right, fine. So
sorry,
this is
you probably wanted to hear something Oh
I want to
yeah,
hear like, yeah, I'm a
definitely.
much better teacher now, you know, my
Thank
experience,
you.
like,
Yes.
yeah. All right,
Round of
sorry, you know,
applause.
sorry for ruining your life and your career, you know, but still, I guess,
Oh yeah, I had a brilliant
more
career in
fun.
front of me, you know.
Yeah,
Academic
exactly.
director, some other director.
Yeah, exactly.
And now what? I'm
All right.
chatting with a man sitting in a former toilet once a week.
Oh, thank you. You know, yeah, you're right. You're right. But you know,
Okay.
this podcast will make you famous one day.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
and
That's what I'm counting on.
all right. I was thinking honestly, I kind of put these thoughts on the shelf, you know, but I was thinking once about let's say scaling my business, you know,
Mm.
scaling and getting more students and teachers, employing teachers and so on. Oh, this is difficult, you know, unless I'm just dumb, you know, and I don't know how to do it,
I don't
but
think
it's
it's
difficult.
scalable. I'm
Scaling in
sorry.
education, I think, yes, scaling in education is horribly difficult. You can of course scale the method, let's say, you know, the way of teaching. Yes, you can train other teachers, but in you know very well that even if teachers have ask the same questions we ask and so on, these classes are run in a different way, you know. There are things you can't teach, you can't scale, you can't, I don't know, copy and paste. So it's all about, you know, finding like you know, a group of teachers who are like-minded, and then, you know, maybe start, but then again, you know, every time it's not scaling, it's just growing. It's not scaling because
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, I could ask, what's the difference between growing and scaling? You know, like if you grow, you employ more teachers, but you're not scaling. Scaling is when you can actually you know, deliver the same service to more people without increasing costs. I mean, you know, employing teachers and so on. Right. Fine. So enough of this, you know, rumbling around whatever, you know, whatever is our life, you know,
Yeah,
and if we are good teachers or bad teachers, our students know it very well, you know. You don't have to like,
maybe.
yeah.
Let's not go down this alley, okay?
Yeah,
This road.
great. How about you giving me some permission to share the sound?
You've got it.
All right, great. So guys, we are moving now to let's say the thinking out loud the proper part of the show. I wonder if it shouldn't be like at the beginning, you know, because people listen to our small talk, they, you know,
Get
they
tired. They think, Jesus, what are they
they never
talking
reach
about?
these fantastic, you know, conversations that we have.
But if we do everything differently, we might as well, you know, do a small talk at the end. Usually
One
people do it
day.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Let's go. Before we start, you can go and visit www.studiomentals.com. The link is in the description. Why should you visit that? Well, I'm not telling you. You go and visit, and you'll find out.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
Great. Let's go. You know.
Round one.
All right. Great. Round number one, and the question that I've got for you is, what's the difference between a friend and an ally? What do you think? Or friendship and alliance? What do you prefer? Let's say friend and ally, right?
Friendship and alliance. What do I prefer? Or
I mean, you will talk about it anyway.
Okay.
I mean, you know what?
Yeah,
But
no, I
whether
thought you were asking me what would I prefer, to have a friend or an ally?
no. I'm asking about, you know, what sort of question you prefer. If you prefer to talk about the abstract friendship and alliance, or about, I think, less abstract, you know,
How is
nouns
it
like
less
a friend.
abstract?
Because a friend is, you know, you can visualize a friend and an ally perhaps, but can you visualize alliance? Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think this collective, what is it, a collective? I don't know, what is it? It's more abstract, you know. Friendship is more abstract than a friend. Come on.
Because you
Friendship
think
as
that you think that I will be thinking about a particular person? I will have
yeah, I
this
mean, it's
particular
easier to
person in mind.
visualize a friend than friendship, you know. because friendship is like, all the relationships between friends. So it's like, extrapolated or whatever, or I think it's more abstract, honestly. It's the way I feel it.
Okay, if you say so.
Fine, never mind. But what's the difference between that,
Well, an ally, you and your ally, you have a common goal. You might have different reasons. Let's say, okay, ally, it's a war, yeah? You have a common enemy.
Typically, yeah.
Well, typically, yeah. I mean, for some reason, I'm immediately thinking of this TV series, Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've seen it.
Well,
It's all about
don't
alliances, it's
kill
politics.
me, but I've never seen it. I've never
Okay,
seen it,
no.
even one episode, of that. I know it's been all over the internet, but sorry, guys, I haven't seen
Okay,
it.
so let's stick with this, politics and war thing. You have an enemy. You have a common enemy. And you cooperate because it's easier to take this enemy down if you pull your forces, resources, together.
Pull your card.
You might you might not like each other. You may even hate each other. Your ally, your present ally, might have been your enemy yesterday. But today you put these differences aside and you cooperate to achieve this this common goal you have. And once you've achieved it, you might even turn against your former
ally,
present ally. Yeah. But with a friend, it's definitely not like that.
Yeah, it's a different type of, totally different type. I mean, so what's the reason why is it different?
Well, can you be a friend? You can.
For one
you can
night.
actually. Yeah, you can actually be a. Oh, it's rare, but your friend may have been your enemy.
Yes.
I don't know if it only happens in movies or books.
No,
I don't know if it happens in real life.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder if this is not like a spectacular turn of events that someone who was your enemy becomes. But I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of enemies in my life. I mean, I don't know if I could call anyone my enemy.
Yeah, I only had some at, when I was in school.
At school, yeah, maybe, but then
it's little,
like
politics you play. No, it's just you play with her or with, you play with him.
Okay, yeah.
And they are excluded from your
not
little
real enemies. I mean,
well, when you were a child, it's you
all right, yeah,
use
fine.
these words,
Fine.
Not very carefully.
Fine, but I don't know, honestly, if
so let's say that, okay, if it happens so rarely, then an enemy it's or a friend is somebody you like, you enjoy spending time with. Maybe you have something in common. Well, you should probably have something in common.
Sure, I mean, yeah.
You might become enemies in
but
the
it's
future.
not, you have something in common, but it's not necessarily the common interest, right? Because it's not,
but you definitely like the person. It's not that you have a common goal, and you hang out together only to achieve this goal. You just enjoy spending time together. You help each other out.
It's kind of unconditional. It's
I don't know. I don't think if there's anything unconditional. We do stuff because it makes us feel great.
The love of parents to their children. It's unconditional.
Okay, maybe this the only thing. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But you say that, so friendship, you don't think friendship is unconditional. I mean,
well, you can. It's not a one-way street. I mean, it can be for a year, but you must get something, in return. And these friendships, when it's a one-way street, they don't last long. So you expect something to get out of this, to get something out of this friendship for yourself. Unless you are, I don't know, Mother Teresa or somebody, Indira Gandhi.
Yeah. Someone who's
So unconditional, or I don't know, Jesus Christ. But
I live to
people
give.
Yeah. So it's unconditional in a sense that, well, but okay, I'll go fishing with you today, but next time you go to a football match with me, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's, I mean, even if it's
unconditional?
implicit, because you never,
Yeah.
you never state it openly, I
Yeah.
guess. But it's sort of, you create certain, let's say,
You have expectations.
expectations, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, fine. I'd like to ask you now. Okay, so friendship is an alliance. Alliance is based on common interest, right?
Goal.
And that's why goal, common goal, exactly. Like two parties want to form a government, so they form an alliance because they don't even like each other, maybe.
They may hate even. They may even hate each other's guts.
Yeah, but they, for example, they don't want the other guys to form the government, so they unite.
Yes, for some reason, for whatever reasons, they might have different reasons even, but for this at this moment their interests are aligned, and that's it. And they see the benefit of putting their interests aside and just cooperating.
All right, great. And that's it. I wanted to ask you, it's like a follow-up question, but still the same round. Can two countries be friends or just allies?
Yeah, we now call some countries our friends.
Yeah, of course. But now, but even before, in the discourse of politicians and so on, is our friends. If you listen to the French politicians, Germans are our friends now.
What is a country? For example, we have of course, in the context of this war, we have, let's say, the USA, and they provide lots of weapons. Yes. And we have Poland, who, I mean, I don't know how many millions of people now live in Poland. And I know that, for example,
like
one of
one and a half, I guess it's not, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot. Okay. And it's not only the country, it's the people that, they are opening their homes for, Ukrainians. And it's been, we're 9 months into this war. And last week, one of my students, she went to Poland, and she says that still, in Peremyśl, there are volunteers that,
How do you say, how do you pronounce that?
Peremyśl. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's Przemyśl, right? That's
we
right.
call it Peremyśl. Oh, Przemyśl.
Nice.
Okay.
Przemyśl, yes.
Przemyśl.
Right.
Well, there are still volunteers there. They're still offering, snacks, some warm clothes. I mean, 9 months. So I see this, it's a different sort of cooperation. I would call the USA our allies, because we know that their interests may shift. They will, but Poland, it's, it's not the country, it's not the politics, it's the people. But the people is a country, no?
Yeah, but
I would call this friendship. I would call this friendship.
It has some features of friendship for sure. I mean, because it's sort of private. It went down from the state level.
People, not the
not the governments. Or
I know that the government encourages and helps. I don't know, financially. I think people who are hosting Ukrainians, but there are a lot of people who did it, without even any hint of a payment at the beginning of the war. And there are still many people who continue doing it.
But that's why if we talk about this official level, state level, I don't think that countries can be friends. I mean, because there's always politics, and politics means there's business, and there are some goals, to achieve and so on. But it can happen at the private level for sure. But then again, if two countries could be, if two nations maybe not countries, but
Yeah,
two
nations
nations
can
could
be
be friendly. Yeah, I think nations could be friendly. I wonder, nations could be friendly for sure, but not
And
really
this is an
country states.
example of, you know, when they used to be not so friendly, you know, if you look back.
Yeah, if you, of course, well, you can say that openly, you know, but Poles and Ukrainians had a really difficult history. And right now, of course, it's we'll see how it develops, you know, in the future.
But this is how it's different, you know, in terms of a nation, national memory, and a memory of an individual. That's why it's very difficult for individuals to become friends after, you know, being enemies for a long time.
Yeah.
But
because you remember the hurt, you remember the, you know, the damages. And in the case of, you know, different generations, we don't remember basically, and we haven't felt you know, this pain personally. That's why. Great. Thanks a lot for that. Okay, so I feel satisfied, you know, with that answer. Thanks so much for struggling. I don't know if you struggled. Did you struggle? It's always, you know, it's always like, what the hell is this question, you know? But it's nice, you know. All right, so are you ready for round 2?
Where's my round of applause? I'm sorry.
Oh,
but if we're playing this
that,
game,
you
then
know,
I
hey
need
people,
to
where
get
are
it.
you? Come here and clap your hands. All right, they're coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Fine. Let's progress, you know.
Round 2.
Great. Well, I'm all ears, you know.
Okay, it's super abstract question. Is nature beautiful?
Wow, I love this question, no? I don't know what I'm going to answer here. But I love it, you know. I would like to stop here, you know, just, you know, let's admire the question.
Okay, let's take a minute.
let's not explore it, you know. Let's not explore it before we spoil it, you know. I spoil it, you know. Great. Is nature beautiful? Is there like is something hidden there?
I have no idea. I've
Like,
never explored it.
Because but my first answer is, of course, yes, it is. But then, you know, on second thought, I know that nature is also full of bad stuff, like, you know, natural disasters, all the calamities, you know, and not to mention, of course, pandemics and diseases. This is all natural, you know. All these cancers are natural. Are they beautiful? Well,
is a hurricane beautiful?
Well, yeah, well, that's a great question. You know, it is in a way. If
when
it's
you
not
when you admire it on your screen,
far away from your house,
in your armchair with popcorn.
I think the one and an obvious answer is yes. Nature is beautiful in all its aspects. I wonder if dying in pain is beautiful. It's not, you know, it's not, or whatever, dying in general, you know, but it's also not a natural phenomenon. It's not beautiful unless it's, you know, whatever, you know, let's say glorified by people, right? I remember some, you know, medieval stories, you know, of knights dying on the battlefield, and, you know, in a spectacular way. But yeah.
So you're saying that everything that is natural, it's beautiful. I don't think
say
it's
yes.
The same thing.
I say yes, and but there are some, you know, gray areas here. Let's go one by one. First, let's start with animals. All animals are beautiful, and they are beautifully dressed. You know, if you think about their colors, how do these guys pick these colors or match them? You know, take parrots, you know, or cats, you know, regular cats. All these creatures are beautifully dressed, and well, we could learn a lot from them, you know, in terms
But
of
I
how
think
to.
that everything they have is there for a reason. It's not for just for you to admire them.
Well, I know, but still, it look. I mean, okay, but if you're wearing
Yeah,
whatever
but look
T-shirt,
at
it's for a reason.
people who are beautiful, beautifully dressed, and it
Mhm.
makes no sense. I mean, just
Well, it's
put
still
on
better than you know wearing
naked.
some not naked. No,
No, but I
but
mean, for animals, every detail, even if it's a
mhm,
combination of colors, it's there. It's a result of evolution, you know. It's
mhm.
there for them to survive, reproduce, hunt, you know.
Oh, okay, but you look at cows and they have different colors variation. You know, they look differently, but you think that what they just look great. You know, each
You
and
mean
every
the
cow
colors,
looks great.
it's just for beauty? There is no function to it?
I know what's the function of the white spots on cows' bodies. I don't know. Maybe it whatever.
Disguise?
Maybe disguise. Maybe it's against the flies or something. I don't know. But still, the way it's placed is perfect. It's the same like each rose is perfect, right?
Yeah,
No
but
matter
not
where it
because
grows.
somebody wanted to make it beautiful, because
No, no, of
whoever
course not.
created this flower was not thinking about beauty, was thinking about functionality, let's say it like this.
Well, I'm not sure about roses. I mean, what's the functionality of a rose? It's just another plant, who wants to survive in this, ocean of plants, or let's say the kingdom. And I don't know, honestly, it's fighting for the sunlight, it's fighting for, the elements from
Yeah,
the
but
ground.
okay, imagine an alien from a totally different planet arriving
Mhm,
here,
mhm.
and this guy looks, I don't know, very, very the most unlike, us. And his
Mhm,
planet is very, very different.
mhm.
Do you think this guy, creature, do you think he would find our nature beautiful?
Coming from a totally, yeah. I mean, I've seen some movies or played some computer games where you find yourself on a planet that's totally different, and yes, it can be beautiful for sure. And yeah, I think nature wise, because if you think about the scale, this is beautiful. It doesn't matter if it resembles what you are used to or not. But the scale, if you see some, I don't know, some crystals levitating or whatever, whatever can be happening, but this is
Mhm.
mind blowing, and it's beautiful in its scale, especially if it's uh, big, and overwhelming.
Is a swamp beautiful?
It's a swamp, beautiful. Come on,
A
it's
swamp.
okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. Swamp. It is beautiful.
My composter heap, or whatever that is, my
Oh my
composter.
goodness, yeah, the decay, it's beautiful. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I mean, this. It depends on the point of view, but
Uh-uh. 3 times
what?
you can only use this
So I
card.
use it second time. All right. So at the next week I'll use
Use
it
them
up.
generously.
All right. No, but you asked me about beauty, right? If it's
Yeah,
beautiful, and
of
I
course,
guess each
whenever
and
you
every
ask somebody,
person has its.
yeah, they will say, okay, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Mhm,
But we have
mhm.
certain standards we do,
Yeah, but
what is
I'll tell
beautiful,
you
what
what.
is not.
What I think I sort of answered that before. I'm confusing a little bit, and it's I think a lot of people make the same thing, the same mistake. I'm confusing overwhelming with beautiful, because if it's overwhelming and it's breathtaking, you feel like,
People say,
oh wow, it's beautiful. I see
so
this
people
swamp that is.
fail to see beauty in ordinary things.
Yeah, yeah, but nature, nature is what you said. Everything is there for a reason,
Mhm.
and that only adds to the beauty. Because wow, it's logical.
So everything that's logical is beautiful.
I don't want to say, I don't want to go as far as that, because you can have a logical whatever house that's totally ugly. I mean, it's logical, the whatever the layout and so on, but it looks ugly, I think. Unless no, but it's not. I know there's a lot of maths in nature. If you look at snowflakes and all that, this is all like mathematical formula, right? And there's a lot in physics that's that makes sense, can be calculated, and at the end of the day, in music and so on, it's there's a lot of maths there. But I don't know if beauty, honestly, nature's beauty comes from there, from this maths that is underlying the nature. Maybe because but then you see we have to go to the other side and see what's ugly, and it's usually human creation that's ugly, like ugly buildings, ugly clothes, and everything. We are the only, as far as I know, the only species capable of producing kitsch. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you look at animals. I'll go back there, and they are really varied, like zebras or whoever you look at.
Lavray.
Yeah, I mean, look at the animals like, for example, what's the name? Toucan.
With the huge
Yeah, with the
beak.
beak. Yeah, with the beak that is so weird. I mean, with it's a black bird with that beak that is totally colorful and so on. It's fantastic, the way it looks. So
Some
and
insects
it's
look
never a
disgusting.
kitsch. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
it's never a
I think
kitsch.
I don't think it's
They look
kitsch. It's never
no,
it's
never
never
kitsch.
kitsch. But if you combine like I don't know, yellow and green and something, you may end up producing kitsch, like ugh, it makes you cringe, or the garden gnomes or something,
So
Think
everything
about
that
it.
nature.
But nature is unable to produce kitsch, and that's why it's by definition whatever it produces is beautiful. Even the swamp, we have certain associations with the swamp, like, okay, it's a dangerous place, and I guess, yeah, that's why we think it's dangerous, and it's not the place where you would like to spend your holidays. So, but naturally, but it doesn't mean it's ugly. It's the same like Himalayas. They are beautiful, but they are deadly. But they are beautiful. They are breathtaking.
But there are no
Literally.
breathtaking swamps. Yeah, but there are no breathtaking swamps. No, maybe there are.
But
They're
you don't know.
covered
You
with
don't know that. You
berries.
don't know that.
In autumn, with cranberries.
Yeah.
They grow on.
Yeah, sure, but I
swamps.
bet if you go where I guess swamps, like if you go to Florida, and see the swamps there, well, they definitely look beautiful. It's just that you don't want to build a house there, maybe, because it's not really convenient to live there with all this humidity and and everything that comes with it, mosquitoes.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say that wherever you look, it's beautiful. Your compost, I don't know, the pile of the no idea, honestly. That actually might look ugly, but
No, it's nice.
yeah,
It's handmade.
or if you
It's
turn,
nice.
yeah, because we have certain aesthetic standards, so
Yes.
if you turn or if you lift a stone and you see what's underneath, some worms and whatever, spiders, whoever is living there, it's like, well, yuck, it's ugly. But are spiders honestly ugly? I mean, they are beautiful if you look at their construction, let's say, the way they're built.
Yeah.
It's a wonder.
Mhm.
So once again, it's the fact, we tend to associate dangerous things, poisonous things, with ugly. That this snake is ugly, but which snake is honestly ugly?
No, snakes are very beautiful creatures.
They're beautiful. Look at their skins. I mean, it's fantastic. And so of course, once again, they are dangerous, and you might say the same refers to, like I said, spiders and other creatures, but they are beautiful. I'd say that. So to answer your question, is nature beautiful? I say yes. Even parts of it. I'm not comfortable with like extending this answer to the dark side of nature, like decay, dying, and whatever, because there's a lot of ugly stuff in nature. Think about, I know, no, there's a lot of ugly stuff, sure, but then again, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, of course. I think of a carcass of a, don't know, bear, half eaten by
Yeah.
wolves, but with a little bit of time, it will be, just
A
snow
skeleton?
white bones,
Yeah.
and the flesh, rotten flesh, will give new life to.
Yeah.
So in the end,
Yeah. So
it's,
even you're right. So whatever is ugly in nature is just a temporary condition, temporary state. Because what's left, I guess, no, nature is beautiful. It's beautiful at many levels: aesthetic level,
Mhm.
and also this logical, and the fact that nature doesn't fool around, and it's everything's there for a reason. Look at roses. Even if the rose is growing in some unfavorable conditions, there's no sunlight or something, it
Mhm.
will do its best. It will realize its potential to the maximum. It will do what it could. Of course, it's not as beautiful as the rose. That's why you go to the florist, and
Mhm.
you pick flowers. Okay, I don't like this one, I like this one, I take
Mhm.
please,
Mhm.
I take the middle one. But the point is that they are all beautiful, because they
Mhm.
all they did what they could. Of course, some of them maybe grew in less favorable conditions. That's why they're maybe less developed or something. But
Some
still,
are more beautiful than others. A puppy is more beautiful than
Yeah.
a mosquito, let's say. Again,
Yeah,
to humans.
yeah, again, yeah, there are personal preferences, of course. Don't know who likes mosquitoes, but fine. Thanks a lot for this question. I don't know. Can I finish here? I don't know if you feel
Yeah, it's an episode
satisfied
of
with the answer.
short answers today. So somebody,
Short answers,
and
yeah.
it felt like we knew what we were talking about. You see,
I think,
remember
yeah,
this feedback that maybe not humming, and stuff like this.
I say hi.
I
Hi
think
to
we
Kasia
did
once
very
again.
well today.
All right. We did very well. I don't know, honestly. I have to re-listen to it, So
Okay.
then I'll tell you, because
Tell me
I
next
probably
time.
used a lot of kind of,
Okay.
But speaking about feedback, Maciek, to whom I say hi, said that he loves your voice.
Thank you very much. That was
right.
unnecessary piece of feedback on the air.
No, I mean, it's great, to have a voice that's, that sounds good.
Well,
Great.
everybody
Thanks a
hates
lot.
their voice when it's recorded.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes, of course.
hates.
Yeah. I kind of got used to my voice because I listen to this podcast from time to time, but
Maybe
just
I
to
should.
check, but yeah. All right. But thanks, Maciek. Thanks for the feedback. And
Thank you
not
very
only this,
much.
And what else? What else can I say? You said something that's that it seemed that we are prepared, but I'll tell you that certain questions, when you hear certain questions, you sort of, you feel the answer inside of you. Then the whole challenge is to verbalize it, right? But at least it resonates inside, you know. It's not like, because there are questions when you ask, it's like a total blackout, like, you know, I have no
Yeah.
idea what to
I
say.
have no idea.
But there are questions that I know it, you know, just give it to me, you know, and I'll tell you what I know. Except that on the way, of course, you know, there are some obstacles, and to let's say bring this, what you feel, to the surface. But I think the question about nature here was exactly like that. I felt like, oh, I know the answer, you know, it's just a matter of you know, verbalizing it. Wasn't that easy, but that's, and this may somehow, you know, be responsible for that, you know, whatever flow. I think it really it's if people know what they want to answer, they feel the answer. Sorry, they don't know yet how it's going to be built, but they feel the answer, then they are totally able to improve their flow. You know, a great question is a huge step towards, you know, fluency and everything. That's what I always say.
So we were not prepared, just for the record. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we are never prepared.
Never
You know? I'm not changing this. Sorry, Kasia. You know, I'm not changing this. All right. Great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening to the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thanks for being with us. You can, I guess, follow me. I said it at the beginning on Instagram. It's mentals.fr. I'm reminding you all the time about new episodes and everything, you know, and I'm just fooling around there. And apart from that, there's our website, studiomentals.com. And you can, if you want, join our classes. And that's all from me this week. What about you, Masha?
Background of praise. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah.
For the next one.
Stay tuned for the next one. See you next week. Hear you. What do I say? Hear you or see you next week?
Oh, Jesus. That's a great question, you know. Let's say.
Till next week, then.
Till next week, guys.
Bye.